Hey everyone, this is Matt Gorman, dothemiles.tv. I'm in the pro shop of Guy's Bicycles in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, and with me again is Bob Burke, owner of Guy's Bicycles. And today we're going to look at bicycle shoes, cleats, and pedals. This is a very complicated system, but Bob's going to help us simplify all this. So Bob, what are we looking at here?
Lots of systems, but we're going to try and make it easy. What we like to do when a customer comes in our store, we ask a lot of questions about what they're ultimately going to do with this bike, where they're going to ride it. If we find out that the rider is more recreational and they're going to do riding where they're stopping a lot and stopping into stores, getting water, going across bridges, we want someone to have the ability to walk with the pedal system on. What I mean by that is a sole that lets the cleat be recessed within the bottom of the sole. For example, Shimano's SPD, Shimano Pedaling Dynamics, SPD cleat sits within the sole of the shoe. So if we're walking, we're not walking on a cleat, we're walking on the rubber sole. You'll see that these are both SPD. One's a very smooth surface, one's rough. It's more of a mountain style shoe, or people in spin class use them, or a road version of it. So the road version of it is just a smoother style of it. The design works on a system that lets us enter on both sides of the pedal. So it's a favorite among spin classes and among people who are recreationally riding it. It's not the lightest, it's not the most power transfer, but very easy learning curve, easy to use.
Okay.
The next is probably the most popular system that's been used by road cyclists since the 80s. It's a system called the Look system. So Look is the manufacturer who's designed this pedal, where they come in different versions, different lightweight features to different ones, but the system is basically the same. What this does has a cleat that looks like this, which is much bigger. It's made of a plastic material. It mounts to the bottom of a sole that uses a 3-bolt system.
Now there's no recess here.
None at all.
Yeah.
What you're looking at is a much lighter shoe, dramatically, a much stiffer sole, power transfer. So if we're looking at a cyclist who wants the most out of their high-end road bike, this is what they want to do, not this, because they want that power transfer. They want the optimal things to come from the shoe. This cleat then gets mounted to the sole of the shoe. The pedal would be, an example here, your left pedal on your bike. The pedal has weighted, so it's always coming back for you. It's weighting at the bottom just like this.
Gotcha.
So as we come across with our shoe, the cleat catches there and you step down. It's audible and you can feel it. It's a pronounced click to let you in. So toe in, heel down. To come out, it's just swinging out. And it's a good place to learn on an indoor cycle trainer, indoor in your driveway first, maybe something like that, but not first day out on the open road. Get used to the system, get comfortable with it.
Well, no, there's a running joke that anytime with your very first time with this system, you always fall once.
You will fall once.
Everybody does it. Right? Everybody
does it, yeah. It's sad that if it doesn't happen, it's going to happen.
Right.
Shimano comes out with a product that's equal in every way. A little bit broader contact surface, a little more power transfer, but their color system for their cleats. The coloring system for the cleats is pretty easy. They actually denote it right on the packaging. The black cleat gives you 0 float, the gray cleat 4.5, the red cleat 9. With Shimano, the yellow cleat gives you float and the red cleat gives you none. Float is the ability for this cleat, which is mounted rigid to the sole of your shoe, to float within the pedal. The importance of that float, Matt, is very, very critical. If you do not have float, that means that that pedal system that you're locked in on is the same everywhere in the pedal stroke, no matter where you're at. At some point, your knee may feel that discomfort. After miles and miles of riding, you're not having the freedom to be fluid. So float lets the fluid happen again.
And that's for your knee.
That's for your knees.
Very
up into the hip too, but the knee is the first joint that takes the abuse of not being floating.
Interesting. You'd think the nearest joint being the ankle.
No, it's not even that. There's so much more in the ankle floating around. But that knee doesn't have as much of that range of motion. So knowing that, then Shimano, who designs their system, is countered by another company called Speedplay, double-sided, like the mountain pedal system or the spinning pedal system, which some people like. They want to not be trying to balance the pedal around. Good feature, I guess, for someone who doesn't want to be inconvenienced by that. It's not that tough. The system here is the cleat mounts to the sole of the shoe, and we step on, and we have 25 degrees of float. So it's a whole different system. It's not the most popular, but it's gained popularity over the years because it's a lightweight system, and it's got float for someone who has any history of some bad knees and they want to just cover all bases, and they're looking for the maximum amount of float.
I do see this out on the road quite a bit.
There's a lot of triathletes who use it because they have a running background, which might have some running history, knee injury history. So we'll see that being used a lot. That system works on that same exact bottom. 3-bolt system.
Same 3-bolt
because
system,
they give us an adapter plate to use it.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay. Then we have this shoe here.
Different model. 3-bolt system lets us use the system we just showed you, all of them, But if you look real close, there's another system, the SPD. So we could even use this system. Our question sometimes comes to this. If we put this cleat onto this shoe, we put the flag up and we say, what's going on here? Why are we doing that? If we really wanted a stiff carbon sole shoe and real rigidity and power, why are we playing on this little tiny cleat that doesn't disperse that power? On the other hand, if we're buying this shoe because we want this little tiny cleat because it can be used in a recess system.
Like the gym class.
Right,
like
it's not recess. So we would put a flag up when we've seen that. It's been done and it can be done, but if you have
my spinning shoes, and I'm like walking on glass on the tile.
Gotta be careful when you're walking on that. You're literally sliding
slippery.
around.
It's slippery.
So with this system and this system, the manufacturers make a cover that you can carry in your jersey pocket. When you get to the bridge and you won't have to walk across it, you close the cover onto it and you walk across the bridge. You're not wearing the cleats out as quickly. But the importance of this whole thing would be that you get the right system for what you're really doing with the bike. So when someone's helping you with these shoes and pedals, they should be asking you questions and making sure that you're being guided the right way to the right system for what you're doing.
Terrific. Bob, I have one other question. I've changed my cleats out a number of times over the past many years. And it's based on this conversation, I understand it's not just as much as centering up the holes here and just bolting them down. There's a lot of play there, and that's important.
Correct. And you'll see that play in the fact that these are rectangular, oblong in every way, so this whole system can be mounted in an easy way. If they were all the same, they would have just 3 simple holes and you bolt it on.
Right.
So what this gives us the ability to do is float the cleat fore and aft, float the cleat left and right, give the cleat angle. That's critical. It's something we would strongly recommend not doing on your own because you don't have the history of what you need to be. There's a science and a method to measure that to be sure that this cleat is properly located fore and aft, as well as the angle it's on, as well as the in and out that it's on. So a bicycle store that sells this system has the ability to guide you into the proper cleat alignment.
And that, I guess, goes into the whole proper fit conversation.
Yeah, a big part of fit would be, that might be the first thing that happens in a bike fit, to get cleat properly positioned and then build off of it into seat height, seat fore and aft. If that's not right, we do the whole fit, when we come back to that again, it's going to change everything we just did.
And if you don't get it right, you're asking for a little bit of knee injury.
Yeah, just do it right the first time.
Yeah, that's great advice. Good. Well, I want to thank again Bob Burke of Guys Bicycles. This has been Matt Gorman with Do the Miles TV. We've been talking about shoes, cleats, and pedals, and we'll see you next time.